Hi everybody. The course of today is entitled Print Media versus Broadcasting Media. By the way, we mean by the word versus or vs uh, the comparison between two elements or two things. So, say about them. Print media and broadcast media perform very important functions in today's world. They both supply us information which range from the latest news updates to the latest commodities of the market. Print media and broadcast media supply us with information that we would otherwise not get access to. Print. A major advantage of the print media is that their static nature allows for indefinite exposures. In theory, someone could study a beautiful magazine, read through interesting content for several times. That same reader could also come back to the same content additional times, creating repeat exposure from. Other advantages of print media include audience selectivity. Print media can be selected concerning the audience. It can target a specific category of people. Flexible placements. We can use newspapers wherever we want. Involved messages. Unlike broadcast media, which have to be quick hitting, newspaper and magazine often include longer and more involved copy with as much details as the journalist wants to put in his article. We can add also the point of credibility because print media is more credible than the other types of media because the journalists have the time to check the news and to verify it since they uh, prepare the news a day before, so they have much time to verify the credibility of the news. Broadcast or audiovisual media. A broadcast media, on the other hand, a broadcast medium, sorry, on the other hand, is a news organization that supplies people with news in a format that can be heard or viewed. Example of broadcast media, we find radio. Audiovisual media have several benefits for society. A large number of audience at the national or local or international levels, aware of the people with all political issues at the national or international levels, is a prime source for all types of news, massive audience reach, trusted media because of the visual message. So we have here an example of a small comparison, sorry, about print media and broadcast media. Print media versus audiovisual media. Among the differences between the print media and the audiovisual one, we can mention print media reaches its audience through visual medium only, whereas broadcast media reaches its audience through audio and audiovisual means. The length of the news differs in both print and broadcast media. In a newspaper, for example, journalists can write into great details about a new news event, whereas in broadcast media, it's not the same. With broadcast media, journalists are limited in time. The print media targets a category of audience, those who can read and write, whereas the audience in broadcast media is large even illiterate people can use. To conclude, news is one of the most important things in our daily life. A day without listening or reading news is completely unimagined. Newspaper provides written information about our current events, and we can hear the news from radio or TV channels. Print and broadcast media are different in regard of timeliness, the audience, and deadlines. By timeliness, we mean that in broadcast media, the news are more fresh than in print media. By the audience, we mean that the audience of in print media is quite limited as regard or as compared to broadcast media. And deadline here we mean that in print media the journalists are limited concerning the time, whereas sorry, in broadcast media journalists are limited concerning the time, whereas in print media journalists have more time to publish the news. Each one of them has its advantages and limits. On the other hand, both of them inform, educate, and entertain the audience. Thank you for your listening.